Everybody get your notepads out. Today we're going to be talking about the one and only Storm, the goddess. Before I start with what I'm going to tell you guys, I am first going to talk about the bad rep that Storm gets and how it's a little bit frustrating for Storm mains. You should be playing Storm when you hit Diamond and hero bans are, available, because without hero bans, she's very, very hard to even do a fraction of the portion she can do with what she has with her kit. And it's not much, but it is a lot if utilized correctly. If you decide to play Storm, through and through until you get to Diamond, you're a GOAT, you're hardcore, you're a bad and I respect you. But it's okay if you want to wait and, make it a little easier for you to play somebody else until you get to Diamond for hero bans, which is what I recommend. The first thing I want to talk about is her movement and positioning. A lot of people say that she's very slow, and it makes sense because Storm is always flying. She's not on the ground, and even when she's all the way to the ground, she still hovers a little bit above the ground, which is, it still makes her, an easy target, especially for snipers and stuff. If you think you can go and kill somebody by yourself, you cannot. Don't do it. Unless you're built differently and you can do it. Don't do it. You're 99% of the time going to get demolished quick. You can die so quick with this character. If you're not a team player, don't play Storm. That's the biggest thing I can give you. If you're not a team player, do not play Storm. Her kit revolves around being with your team, giving your team speed, giving your team damage boost, AoE. You have to be in the fight as Storm. You can't go and do your own thing. It doesn't make sense. You should always hide behind corners, because your AoE reaches the corner in front of you. How it's like damage boosting that bot. You don't need to be over here and be in front of everybody's face when you can be right here and do the same thing. You should always be mindful about your AoE, because it's how many people you have in this aura thingy, whatever this is called. It's a big circle. Your AoE, as you gradually go higher up, it goes down for some reason. This is how big your AoE can get. I don't know how many meters this is or whatever, but this is a pretty big wide range, and in combat it's actually really good. On the left side of your AoE, you're gonna see your teammates. So I have 3 teammates in my AoE. On the right side of it is your enemies. You want to be paying attention more to your teammates, because the damage boost is relatively better for them. But with the damage boost aura, if you hit E, it electrocutes him gradually for 8 seconds. As you can see, there's a timer. Boom. Boom. Oh, didn't do the last one. But that is really good with comboing with, the electricity thing, burst thingy. Or, little pellets, little wind pellets. So, how I would go about playing a corner, say my team is behind me or in front of me, I would stay this left corner. I would damage boost, go in, out, in, out, in, out. And as enemies gradually come forward, which they're going to be ready to have that burst to burst them. That's gonna make them back up, and if they do not back up, they're gonna keep getting hurt by that, and it does a lot of damage. So be mindful with that. The next thing I want to talk about is her speed. Her speed boost is the other option you can use when flying around. When I want to move quicker and be a lot faster, especially in situations where I gotta go, I gotta get out, I switch to speed. I'm always on damage boost. I think it brings more value to the team. The speed also speeds them. Maybe speeding out of certain scenarios is really good. You can use that as well, because when you press your E ability, it also AoE speeds your team, which is really good if you need a touch or you need to get the hell out of a situation, which happens a lot of the time. Honestly, a little harder to aim with the speed because she goes a little faster. So, kind of difficult for me. In certain situations, the speed is definitely really good. Up next, I think I want to talk about her ultimate ability, which is the funnest thing on Storm's kit for me. It's so fun. I love her ultimate. It's so fun. Fear the wrath of the goddess, she says.
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
So you have about 5 seconds to, go around to see where you want to hit the ult. You can go down. And it pulls people towards the tornado. I think people tend to forget that. It pulls people into the tornado. When you use your ultimate, use your tornado going back to your team. You don't want to be left out in, the middle of your ult, because, you can die really quickly. Or you can speed back to your team after your ultimate. Or you can shock after your ultimate, which is a good burst of damage to finish off kills. You are not invincible in this ultimate. You can get gunned down by the Punisher, especially by the Punisher. You're not invincible. Don't think you're invincible. You might look invincible, you know, because you look good. You're the goddess. You are not invincible. This ultimate, though, is extremely powerful when used when they do not have a Luna Snow or a Mantis ult going on. That will completely cancel out your ultimate, especially Luna Snow, because it's 15 seconds. With Mantis, you can kind of go for people who are not inside of her ultimate and who she's not choosing to keep up. You want to primarily go for supports in your ultimate. Tanks, it's not going to do that much damage to tanks. Your ultimate does best with squishies, DPS, primarily supports. You don't want to go for tanks unless they're really low. Tanks should be the last thing you go for inside of your ultimate. Look how quick this shreds, you know. It takes like 3 freaking, and you can like, yeah. It's very strong. Take out the supports with your ultimate. That's what you should be doing. The next thing I want to talk about is her team up ability with Thor, which I think is really cool and should be part of her base kit. Not a team up ability, but it's a team up ability, so we'll take what we can have. So what it basically does is a chain reaction lightning, which is actually quite cool, which does this. And dead! It does its best when you combo it with AoE. I think it should be a little stronger, but that's just me. I want to talk about the things I would change. First, it does not make sense for Storm to have a reload, especially since she's throwing wind pellet. That does not make sense to me. I don't understand why it's a reload. I don't know how that makes sense, but it's a reload. Second, she should be able to do headshot damage. She doesn't do headshot damage, which I think is a little wild because she has the same projectile speed as Hela, and Hela's able to do headshots and an extreme amount of body damage for some reason, but that's just me. I would change it so that her pellets do headshot damage, slightly more body damage, and I think her electricity should be on a less cooldown. I think it's a bit too high, or they buff the amount of damage that it does, because I don't think it does that much damage. I guess that's pretty much it with Storm. I'm hoping for a few buffs. Not that much. I don't think she needs a rework. I think she's fine. Maybe a few buffs just so she could be grounded, because I think she's definitely not fitting in like the rest of the characters. You can see that because I think her player base is only like 3%, but that is okay because she's in my hands and she's safe with my hands, and I'm gonna take such good care of Miss Ororo here. I hope those tips helped you. Go weather the storm with those tips. All right.